The huge ship cut through the darkness of space like a knife. Its black metal skin swallowed the light from nearby stars. This was the Pride of Zorkon, the biggest warship in the Zorkonian Empire's fleet. For 10,000 years, the Empire had ruled the stars with ships like this one. Now the Pride of Zorkon was on a simple mission, to meet a new species called humans. Commander Selthar stood on the bridge, his blue skin shining under the soft lights. He was 7 feet tall with 4 arms and eyes that glowed yellow in the dark. Zelthar had served the Empire for 200 years. He had seen many worlds bow before the Empire's power. This mission would be no different. "Commander, we are approaching the meeting point," said First Officer Vex. She pointed to the screen where a small dot was growing larger. "That is the human ship. It is very small." Zelthar laughed, showing his 4 rows of sharp teeth. As expected, these humans are new to space. They have only left their planet 300 years ago. They know nothing of real power. The human ship was indeed small. It was just 1/10 the size of the Pride of Zorkon. Its white hull looked plain and simple next to the Empire's black warship. "Scan them," ordered Selthar. Vex pressed some buttons on her control panel. She frowned. "Commander, our scans cannot see inside their ship. Something is blocking us." This was strange. No species had been able to block Empire scans before. Zelthar felt a small worry grow in his mind, but he pushed it away. The Supreme Leader had given clear orders. "Bring these humans into the Empire, or destroy them if they refuse. Open a channel to their ship," he said. The main screen lit up, showing a human face. Zelthar studied the creature with interest. It had pink-brown skin, no scales, and only 2 arms. It looked weak and soft. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of Earth Alliance," said the human. Her voice was calm and steady. She did not look afraid, which surprised Zelthar. Most species trembled when they first saw a Zorkonian. "I am Commander Zelthar of the Zorkonian Empire," he replied, making his voice deep and powerful. "We rule 10,000 star systems. Our empire has stood for 10,000 years. We have come to offer you a place in our great empire." Captain Chen's face showed no emotion. "Thank you for coming so far, Commander. We look forward to learning about your people." Zelthar nodded. This was going well. These humans would soon understand their place in the galaxy. "We will meet on my ship in 1 hour. You may bring 3 people with you." "I suggest we meet on neutral ground," said Chen. "There is a small space station nearby. We can meet there." Zelthar felt anger rise in his chest. No one told a Zorkonian commander what to do. But he remembered his orders. "Learn about these humans first." "Very well," he said. 1 hour. As the screen went dark, First Officer Vex spoke softly. "Commander, something feels wrong. These humans, they do not act like a young species should." Zelthar looked out at the stars. The Empire had crushed 1,000 species under its boots. Humans would be no different. Yet, as he watched the small white ship floating against the black of space, he felt something he had not felt in 200 years. He felt doubt. "Prepare my shuttle," he ordered, "and bring the battle plans for the human worlds. After this meeting, we may need them." The Pride of Zorkon moved closer to the human ship, its weapons ready but hidden. The biggest empire in the galaxy was about to meet its greatest challenge, though Zelthar did not know it yet. The humans were watching, waiting, and they were not what they seemed. The space station hung between the stars like a small metal moon. It was plain and round, with no fancy designs or decorations. Commander Zelthar's shuttle approached it slowly, flanked by 4 guard ships. He would not take chances with these strange humans. Inside the station, a round room with a large table waited. The walls were clear, showing the endless black of space and the distant stars. When Zelthar entered with his 4 guards, the humans were already there. Captain Sarah Chen stood with 3 other humans. They wore simple blue uniforms with small silver pins. They did not have weapons that Zelthar could see. They looked so weak with their soft skin, and thin arms. Yet they stood tall, with no fear in their eyes. "Welcome, Commander," said Chen. "Please, sit down." Zelthar did not like being told what to do by a lesser being. But he sat, his 4 arms resting on the table. His guards stood behind him, hands on their weapons. "The Zorkonian Empire brings order to the galaxy," Zelthar began. His voice filled the room. "For 10,000 years, we have ruled. Many species live under our protection. We offer this same protection to humans." Chen smiled slightly. "And what does this protection cost?" 20% of all your resources," said Exelfar. "And fighters for our army, a small price for peace." One of the other humans, an older male with white hair, laughed softly. This made Exelfar angry. No one laughed at the Empire. "You find this funny, human," he growled. "Forgive Admiral Washington," said Chen. "But we are not looking for protection. We're looking for friends, for partners, not masters." Zelthar's yellow eyes narrowed. "You misunderstand. This is not a request. All species in this part of space serve the Empire. It is the natural order." Chen leaned forward. "Commander, humans don't believe in natural orders that put some above others. We've fought too hard for freedom on our own world." Zelthar stood up, towering over the humans. "Then you will learn the hard way. The Empire has crushed 1,000 worlds that refused us." "Before you make threats," said Admiral Washington, "you might want to study human history. We're not easy to crush." The third human, a young woman with dark skin, pushed a small device across the table. "This has information about Earth and human colonies. A gift to help you understand us better." Zelthar took the device but did not thank her. "You have 1 week to reconsider. After that, the Empire will come in force." As he turned to leave, Chen called out, "Commander, one question. In your 10,000 years of empire, have you ever met a species that defeated you?" Zelthar looked back at her, confused by the question. "Of course not. The Empire always wins." "Then this will be new for you," said Chen softly. Back on his shuttle, Zelthar crushed the armrest of his chair with one of his 4 hands. "They dare to threaten us. They are nothing. A few planets, a few ships." First Officer Vex studied the data device the humans had given them. Her eyes grew wide as she read. "Commander, you should see this. Their history. They have fought thousands of wars among themselves. They've nearly destroyed their own planet many times. And look at their technology growth. They've done in 300 years what took us 2,000. Zelthar grabbed the device. As he read, he felt something cold in his stomach. These humans were violent, creative, and fast-learning. They had nearly killed themselves many times but always survived. "It doesn't matter," he said. "No species can stand against the Empire." But as his shuttle docked with the Pride of Zorkan, Zelthar noticed something strange. The small human ship was scanning his warship, its sensors quietly mapping every inch of the Empire vessel. The humans were studying them, learning their weaknesses. For the first time in his 200 years, Commander Zelthar felt afraid. "Prepare a message to the Supreme Leader," he ordered. "We may need more ships." The great hall of the Empire shone with gold and black stone. Tall windows showed the red sky of Zorkan Prime, the heart of the 10,000-year empire. Around a huge table sat the 12 warlords of the empire, each the ruler of 1,000 worlds. At the head of the table sat Supreme Leader Vorn, his skin a deep blue, almost purple with age. He had ruled the empire for 500 years. His 6 eyes looked at the maps floating above the table. They showed the human worlds, just 27 star systems marked in red. "Is this all?" asked Vorn, his voice deep and slow. "Just 27 systems." Commander Zelthar stood before the table, all 4 of his hands clasped behind his back. "Yes, Supreme Leader. The humans have only been in space for 300 years. They have not spread far." Warlord Kraz, a massive Zorkonian with battle scars across his face, laughed. They are nothing. The Empire controls thousands of systems. We could crush them in days. Many around the table nodded in agreement, but not all. Dr. Kell, the Empire's chief scientist, studied the human data carefully. She was smaller than most Zorkonians, with lighter blue skin and quick, darting eyes. Supreme Leader, I must warn you. These humans are different. Different how? Asked Vorn. Dr. Kell pressed buttons on her control pad. New images appeared above the table. Human ships, human weapons, human cities. They advance faster than any species we have seen. Their first spaceflight was only 500 years ago, but look at their ships now. The images showed human vessels, sleek and white. They look simple, said Dr. Kell. But our scans show hidden weapons, engines we don't understand, and they learn so quickly. In the time it takes us to build one new ship design, they build 5. Warlord Kraz slammed his fist on the table. It doesn't matter. We have numbers. We have strength. The Empire has never lost. That is correct, said Supreme Leader Vorn. But wisdom comes from caution. Zelfar, you met these humans. What did you think of them? Zelfar remembered Captain Chen's calm eyes, her lack of fear. They are proud, he said. They refused our offer without hesitation. They spoke as if they were our equals. Foolish creatures, said Warlord Kraz. They will learn their place. Perhaps, said Dr. Kell. But I found something else in their data. She showed new images, humans fighting humans, great wars across their home planet. They have been killing each other for thousands of years. They know war better than peace. The warlords looked at each other. A species that fought itself would know much about fighting. Enough talk, said Supreme Leader Vorn. We will show these humans the power of the Empire. Zelfar, you will lead 50 warships to their closest colony. Destroy it as a warning to the others. Zelfar bowed deeply. Yes, Supreme Leader. As the meeting ended, Dr. Kell stopped Excelfar in the hall outside. Commander, there is something else you should know. She looked around to make sure they were alone. The humans sent us this data willingly. They wanted us to see their wars, their weapons. What does that mean? Asked Excelfar. It means they are not afraid, said Dr. Kell, and a species that is not afraid of the Empire. That is something we have never seen before. Zelfar thought about this as he prepared his battle fleet. 50 of the Empire's finest warships gathered above Zorkan Prime, their black hulls blocking the stars. Each ship carried 1,000 warriors and weapons that could melt planets. Surely this would be enough to teach the humans their place. But as his fleet jumped into the darkness between stars, Zelfar remembered Captain Chen's last words. This will be new for you. He wondered what she had meant. He would soon find out. The planet New Terra hung in space like a blue jewel. It was the closest human colony to Empire space, home to 5 million people. Green forests covered its land. Blue oceans sparkled in the light of its yellow sun. Admiral Grek watched the planet from the bridge of his flagship, the destroyer of worlds. He was older than Zelfar, with dark blue skin and scars from 100 battles. Behind him, 50 Empire warships moved into attack position. Scan for defenses, ordered Grek. How many ships do they have? His officer worked the controls. We detect 35 human ships. Admiral. Small ones. They are forming a line between us and the planet. Grek laughed, his yellow eyes gleaming. 35 ships against 50 Empire warships. They are brave but foolish. Commander Zelfar stood quietly at the back of the bridge. He watched the human ships on the screen. They were small, yes, but something didn't feel right. Admiral, perhaps we should study their formation before attacking. No need, said Grek. The Empire has crushed 1,000 worlds. This one will be no different. He turned to his weapons officer. Fire when ready. Show no mercy. The Empire ships opened fire. Great beams of red energy shot across space toward the human line. The bridge crew cheered as the beams raced toward their targets. But then something strange happened. The human ships moved. Not just a little, but with sudden, impossible speed. They twisted and turned in ways no ship should be able to move. The Empire weapons missed. "They're using the planet's gravity to move faster," said an officer in surprise. "I've never seen this tactic before." Before Admiral Grech could respond, the human ships fired back. But they didn't use normal weapons. Blue pulses of energy shot from their ships. When they hit the Empire shields, they didn't stop. They passed right through. 3 Empire ships exploded at once. "Impossible," shouted Grech. "No weapon can pass through our shields." But the evidence was clear as more Empire ships began to explode. The humans had found a way. "Change tactics," ordered Grech. "Spread out. Use all weapons." The Empire ships moved to surround the humans, but the human ships were too fast. They darted between the larger Empire vessels, firing their strange blue weapons. More Empire ships exploded. "Admiral," said Excelfar, "we need to retreat and study their weapons." "The Empire does not retreat," shouted Grech. But as he spoke, his own ship shook as a blue pulse struck it. "What is happening?" The battle lasted just 3 hours. When it was over, 20 Empire ships had been destroyed. The rest were badly damaged. The human fleet had lost only 7 ships. For the first time in 5,000 years, the Empire had lost a battle. "Sound the retreat," Grech said quietly, his voice filled with shock. "Return to Empire space." As the remaining Empire ships jumped away, Zelfar stared at the screen showing the human ships. They were not following. They stayed in formation, protecting their planet. "They could have destroyed us all," he said. "Why didn't they follow and finish us?" "Perhaps they only wanted to defend their world, not destroy us," said an officer. This idea was strange to Empire thinking. In war, you crushed your enemy completely. You didn't just defend and stop. When the damaged fleet returned to Zorkan Prime, the news spread like fire. The unbeatable Empire had been defeated by a young species with only a few planets. Supreme Leader Vorn sat alone in his chamber when he heard the news. For the first time in his 500-year life, he felt something new. He felt fear. "Bring me everything we know about humans," he ordered. Everything. The Great Library of Zorkan Prime was the oldest building in the Empire. Its walls were made of black stone carved with the history of 10,000 years. Inside, thousands of data screens showed information about every species the Empire had ever met. Now all screens showed only one species, humans. Dr. Kell moved from screen to screen, her light blue skin glowing in the soft light. For 2 weeks, she had studied humans without rest. Behind her, Supreme Leader Vorn watched in silence. "Tell me what you have learned," he finally said. Dr. Kell turned to face him. "Supreme Leader, these humans are strange. We sent spies to their worlds, expecting to find a warlike society preparing to fight us." "And did you find this?" asked Vorn. "No," said Dr. Kell. "We found something much more confusing." She touched a screen, showing images of human cities. "Look at how they live. They spend time on art, on music, on games. They argue constantly about how to run their governments. Different human nations compete with each other." Vorn frowned. "This does not sound like a species that could defeat our fleet." "Exactly," said Dr. Kell. "They seem chaotic, divided. Yet somehow, these chaotic beings have developed weapons we have never seen before. Their shield-passing weapons were not luck. They designed them specifically to beat our defenses." She showed another screen. "And there is something else even more disturbing. Humans live very short lives." "How short?" asked Vorn. "Only 80 to 120 years, said Dr. Kell. Vorn was shocked. He himself was 500 years old, and he was considered middle-aged for a Zorkonian. "This makes them dangerous," continued Dr. Kell. "Species with short lives see the world differently. They change quickly. They take risks. The Empire has always relied on our unchanging strength. We build something once and use it for centuries. Humans build something, use it for a few years, then throw it away and build something better. Vorn walked to a window overlooking the capital city. For 10,000 years, that city had looked the same. Unchanging. Perfect. What do you suggest? He asked. We must learn more, said Dr. Kell. Before we attack again, we must understand how they think. At that moment, Commander Excelfar entered the library. He bowed to Supreme Leader Vorn. Supreme Leader, I bring news from our spies. The humans are not building more warships as we expected. What are they doing? Asked Vorn. They are talking, said Excelfar, sounding confused. They have called a meeting with other species from the outer systems, species that the Empire has not yet conquered. This was troubling news. The Empire had always conquered each species one by one. If multiple species worked together, it would be harder. There is more, said Excelfar. We have learned why their ships move so quickly and why their weapons pass through our shields. They use something called quantum shifting. Their scientists discovered it 50 years ago. 50 years, said Dr. Kell in shock. We have been researching similar technology for 300 years without success. Vorn returned to his seat, so they learn faster than us. They build faster than us. They fight better than us. And now they are making friends with other species. He closed all 6 of his eyes for a moment. We must strike now, before they grow stronger. But Supreme Leader, said Dr. Kell, we don't understand them yet. We don't know how they think. We know enough, said Vorn. They are a threat to the Empire, and all threats must be crushed. He turned to Excelfar. Prepare our main fleet, 500 warships, the largest force we have ever assembled. We will show these humans the true power of the Empire. As Excelfar left to carry out his orders, Dr. Kell looked at the screens showing human children playing, human artists creating, human scientists working. She wondered if even 500 warships would be enough. The Empire fleet was a sight that had made 1,000 worlds surrender. 500 black warships filled the space around Zorkan Prime, their weapons glowing red in the darkness. Each ship carried 10,000 warriors and enough firepower to turn a planet to ash. This was the largest force the Empire had ever assembled. Now, it was all aimed at the humans. Commander Excelfar stood on the bridge of the new flagship, the Wrath of Zorkan. The old admiral had been removed after his failure. Now, Excelfar was in charge of the great fleet. All ships report ready, Commander, said First Officer Vex. We await your order. Excelfar looked at the star map. The human defense line was 3 days' travel away. Begin the jump, he ordered. Victory for the Empire. The crew cheered as the great fleet disappeared into the jump points, leaving normal space behind. But while the Empire had been preparing its fleet, the humans had not been sitting idle. For 3 months since the first battle, they had been busy. Very busy. When the Empire fleet came out of jump space at the human defense line, they found something impossible. Commander, said Vex, her voice shaking. What are those? Ahead of them floated massive space stations, each one bigger than the largest Empire warship. There were dozens of them, forming a wall across the approach to human space. On the screens, Excelfar could see human ships moving between the stations. Not 30 or 40 ships like before, but hundreds. And they were not alone. Ships of other designs, from other species, flew alongside the human vessels. Scan those stations, ordered Excelfar. The results made his blood run cold. Each station carried weapons that could tear apart warships from incredible distances. The humans had built these in just 3 months. Open a channel to their command, he said. The screen lit up to show Captain Sarah Chen. She looked exactly the same as when they had first met. Commander Excelfar, she said calmly. I see you brought more ships this time. This is your last chance to surrender, said Excelfar. The Empire has brought its main fleet, 500 warships. We will destroy you all. Chen did not look worried. We don't want war, Commander. We've prepared a peace offer for your supreme leader. No one needs to die today. Zelfar laughed. Peace. After you destroyed 20 of our ships, the Empire does not make peace. It conquers. Then you leave us no choice, said Chen. The screen went dark. All ships, attack formation, ordered Zelfar. Target those stations first. The Great Fleet moved forward, weapons charging. But then something strange happened. The human ships suddenly changed. Their engines glowed with a new bright blue light, and they moved faster than anything Zelfar had ever seen. They've improved their drives, said Vex in shock. They're moving twice as fast as before. Before the Empire fleet could fire, the human ships struck first. Blue energy pulses ripped through the front line of Empire ships. 10 exploded at once. Zelfar gripped his command chair. Return fire. All ships. The battle that followed was like nothing the Empire had seen in 10,000 years. The human stations fired weapons that could hit targets from impossible distances. Their ships moved so fast, they seemed to disappear and reappear. And worst of all, ships from other species that the Empire had dismissed as weak now fought alongside the humans, using similar weapons. After 6 hours of battle, the Empire had lost 300 ships. The rest were damaged or running low on power. Commander, said Vex, her voice quiet. We must retreat. Zelfar wanted to refuse. The Empire never retreated. But as he watched another warship explode on his screen, he knew they had no choice. Sound the retreat, he ordered. All ships returned to Empire space. As the remaining fleet jumped away, Zelfar stared at the battle maps. The Empire had not just been defeated, it had been humiliated. And he knew this was just the beginning. Supreme Leader Vorn stood by the large window in his palace, looking at the red sky of Zorkan Prime. For the first time in his long life, the sky did not bring him peace. Reports came in every day, each one worse than the last. They are in the Drell system now, said Warlord Kraz, standing behind him. The once proud warrior looked tired, his blue skin pale. They freed the Drellians from our control. The Drellians are now fighting for the humans. Vorn turned slowly. How many systems have we lost? 30 in the last month, said Kraz. The outer edges of the Empire are falling away like leaves from a dying tree. 6 months had passed since the great defeat. The Empire had expected the humans to attack their worlds next. But the humans did something strange instead. Human ships began appearing in Empire space, but not to conquer. They came to free enslaved worlds. I don't understand, said Vorn. Why don't they attack our core worlds? Why free these lesser species? Dr. Kell stepped forward. She had spent months studying human history and finally understood their ways better than any other Zorkonian. Supreme Leader, the humans see themselves in these enslaved species, she said. They believe all intelligent life deserves freedom. It's a core belief for them. They don't want to rule the Empire. They want to break it apart. Vorn struggled to understand this idea. The Empire had always seen other species as resources to use, not equals to respect. What do they gain from this? They gain allies, said Kell. Every world they free joins them. They share their technology, their weapons. The humans are building a federation of equals, not an empire of slaves. Warlord Kraz slammed his fist on the table. It cannot work. Different species cannot work together as equals. Some must rule, others must serve. Dr. Kell shook her head. The humans have proof it can work. Their own world was once divided into many nations that fought each other. Now they work together. They believe the galaxy can do the same. A young officer rushed into the room and bowed quickly. Supreme Leader, urgent news. Human ships have been seen near the Krell system. Vorn's 6 eyes widened in shock. The Krell system was close to Zorkan Prime, only 3 jumps away from the heart of the Empire. How did they get so close? The freed worlds are helping them, said Dr. Kell. They know the jump points. the secret routes the Empire has used for centuries. For the first time, Vorn realized the true danger. The Empire had conquered 1,000 worlds over 10,000 years. Now each of those worlds saw a chance for freedom, and the humans were giving them that chance. "We must gather our remaining forces," said Vorn. "Defend our core worlds." "The military academy was attacked yesterday," said Warlord Kras. "Not by humans, but by the Ventari we conquered 300 years ago. They used human weapons." Vorn felt something he had never felt before: despair. The Empire was not just fighting humans now. They were fighting their own past. Every world they had ever conquered was turning against them. "Why does this happen now?" he asked. "We have ruled for 10,000 years. Why do they rebel now?" "Because now they have hope," said Dr. Kell softly. "The humans brought them hope, and hope is more powerful than fear." Outside the palace, the sounds of everyday life continued. Most Zorkonians did not yet know how much danger they were in. They still believed in the Empire's strength. They still thought the humans would be crushed eventually. They did not know that their 10,000-year empire was falling apart, world by world. "Send a message to Commander Excelfar," said Vorn finally. "Tell him to gather every ship we have left. We will make one final attack on Earth itself. Cut off the head, and the body dies." But as he gave the order, Vorn wondered if it was already too late. The remains of the Empire fleet gathered above Zorkan Prime. 700 ships, all that was left of the once mighty Empire Navy. Some were old, pulled from guard duty around quiet worlds. Others were damaged from earlier battles, now quickly repaired. Together, they made the largest fleet the Empire had ever put together. Commander Selthar stood on the bridge of the Empire's Pride, the newest and largest warship ever built. It was twice the size of any previous ship, with weapons that could destroy a moon. "Is the Supreme Leader on board?" asked Excelfar. "Yes, Commander," said First Officer Vex. "He and the War Council have joined us in the command center." This was unusual. Normally, the leaders stayed safe on Zorkan Prime. But this mission was too important. This was the Empire's last chance. "All ships report ready," said Vex. "The jump coordinates for the Sol system are set. We will arrive near the human home planet." Zelfar nodded. "Begin the jump. Let us end this war." 2 years had passed since the humans had first refused to join the Empire. 2 years of battles and defeats. Now, the Empire would strike at the heart of human space, Earth itself. Cut off the head, and the body dies. That was the plan. What Excelthar didn't tell the crew was that this would be a one-way trip. There was not enough fuel for all ships to return. Victory or death. Those were the only options now. The great fleet jumped into darkness, heading for the Sol system. 3 days later, they arrived. The blue-green planet Earth hung in space before them, beautiful and small. The Empire fleet spread out, ready to attack. But what they saw made even the bravest warrior pause. Earth was surrounded by the largest defense network ever built. Hundreds of the massive space stations formed rings around the planet. And ships, thousands of ships, waited in perfect formation. The scanners showed vessels from dozens of species, humans, yes, but also ships from worlds the Empire had conquered over the centuries. All now free, all now united against their former masters. "Open a channel," ordered Supreme Leader Vorn, who had come to the bridge. "I will speak to them myself." The screen lit up, showing Captain Sarah Chen, but she was different now. Her uniform showed new marks of rank. "Admiral Chen now." "Supreme Leader Vorn," she said calmly. "We've been expecting you." "Surrender your planet now," said Vorn, "or we will destroy it completely." Chen's face showed no fear. "We've sent messages to your people, Supreme Leader, to every world in the Empire. We've told them that you come here to die, that your leaders have sent you on a suicide mission." Vorn was shocked. "How could you send messages through our space?" "The people you enslaved know all your secrets," said Chen. "Many of your own people have joined us now." They've seen a better way. This was the final blow. Not just the conquered worlds, but Zorkanians themselves were turning against the Empire. Enough talk, said Vorn. All ships, attack. The Empire fleet surged forward. The battle that followed was the largest in the history of the galaxy. Empire ships fought with desperate fury, knowing they had no retreat. The human alliance fought to end 10,000 years of Empire rule once and for all. Empire weapons fired, destroying stations and ships. But there were too many. For every ship the Empire destroyed, 3 more took its place. After 6 hours of battle, half the Empire fleet was gone. But Vorn would not surrender. The Empire's pride pushed forward, closer to Earth, taking heavy damage, but still fighting. We must reach the planet, said Vorn. We must destroy it, even if we all die. Zelfar looked at the dying ships around him, at the hopeless battle. For the first time, he wondered if the Empire had been wrong all along. As the Empire's pride broke through the defense line, bleeding fire and air, a message came through on a private channel. Commander Zelfar, said Admiral Chen's voice, we don't want to destroy you all. We have another option. The Empire's pride hung in space, half its systems damaged, fires burning inside its massive hull. Around it, the battle continued, but Commander Zelfar was no longer watching the fight. He was looking at Admiral Chen's face on his private screen. What other option could there be? He asked. Our Empire has tried to destroy you. Why would you offer us anything but death? Because that's not who we are, said Chen. We're requesting a meeting. Not surrender, but talk. On the neutral space station ahead. Zelfar looked at the small station floating between the battle lines. It was the same type of station where he had first met Chen 2 years ago. That meeting had led to war. Could this one lead to peace? Supreme Leader Vorn will never agree, said Zelfar. Then come yourselves, said Chen. See what we offer before you throw away more lives. Zelfar made his decision. Without telling Vorn, he took a small shuttle to the station. As he flew through the battle, ships on both sides let him pass. Inside the station, Zelfar found not just humans but representatives from every species in the galaxy. Many were races the Empire had conquered over the centuries. But they did not look at him with hate. They looked at him with hope. Admiral Chen stood in the center of the room. Commander, we don't want to destroy your people. We want to invite you to join us as equals. Zelfar couldn't understand. The Empire tried to destroy you. Why would you offer partnership? Chen walked him to a window where they could see Earth and the battle around it. Look out there. Every species you see fighting was once like yours, believing they had to rule or be ruled. Humans were the same once. We spent thousands of years fighting each other on our own world. What changed you? Asked Zelfar. We nearly destroyed ourselves, said Chen. Then we realized there was another way. We could work together, using our differences to make us all stronger. That's what we offer the galaxy now, a federation where all species work as partners, not masters and slaves. Zelfar looked around the room. He saw former enemies talking together, sharing ideas. Why would any species that suffered under the Empire agree to this? An old Drellian stepped forward. His people had been slaves for 1,000 years. Because revenge continues the cycle of pain, he said. Peace breaks it. As they talked, a message came from the Empire's pride. Supreme Leader Vorn had discovered Zelfar's absence and was furious. He was ordering all remaining ships to make a final attack on Earth, even if it meant their own destruction. I must return, said Zelfar. I cannot stop him. You can, said Chen. Your people respect strength. Show them a different kind of strength. Zelfar returned to his shuttle, but instead of going to the Empire's pride, he broadcast a message to every Empire ship. This is Commander Zelfar. For 200 years I have served the Empire. I believed we were bringing order to the galaxy. I was wrong. I have seen another way, a better way. I ask you all to stop fighting. Look around you. We are outnumbered. Our worlds are rebelling. Our time of rule is over, but we can have a new beginning. On the Empire's Pride, Supreme Leader Vorn watched in shock as ship after ship stopped firing. The great Zorkonian Empire, which had ruled for 10,000 years, ended not in fire, but in a simple choice. 3 days later, representatives from all species gathered on Earth. Humans, Zorkonians, and 100 other races began planning a new future together. They would build a galaxy where all intelligent life was valued, where strength meant cooperation, not conquest. Zelthar stood beside Admiral Chen as they watched the different species talking together. "Will this really work?" he asked. "Can species so different truly work as equals?" "It won't be easy," said Chen, "but that's what makes it worth doing." The Empire's final voyage had indeed been into the human expanse, but that expanse wasn't just territory in space. It was an expansion of what was possible when different minds worked together.